What's up everyone, I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. There are a lot of factors to consider when building a competitive Pokemon team, from speed control to which weather you want to use and terrain, but deeper than that, it's important to consider the roles of each Pokemon on your team. Today I'm going to explain the role of support Pokemon and the best supporters for Regulation H. If you like this type of video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more VGC content. Now, let's get into it. The best support Pokemon do some or all of these things. A good support Pokemon offers Redirection. This is a Pokemon with good HP stats and some good defense stats. These stats are needed because when they click Follow Me or Rage Powder, they're going to be soaking up the damage for their ally. Redirection is good when you have a sweeper that needs to set up. So for example, your sweeper might use moves like Bulk Up, Iron Defense, Dragon Dance. Essentially, you are redirecting damage away from your sweeper so that they are able to fully set up and they don't take any damage that turn. Follow Me Trick Room is also a really strong lead for those Trick Room teams. A good support mon might also help you mitigate damage that your opponent is able to do. You mitigate damage by lowering your opponent's attack or special attack stat. This can be done with Pokemon with the ability Intimidate, which is going to lower your opponent's physical attack, or moves like Parting Shot, which lower the attack and special attack by 1 stage. You can also mitigate damage by burning your opponent. Will-O-Wisp is a common one used to burn your opponents, and this is going to halve their attack stat. Good supporters also disrupt your opponent's game plan. This can be done with moves like Fake Out, causing your opponent to flinch so they can't do anything that turn, hitting them with paralysis so that their speed is lowered, and you might be lucky and get a full para and they won't be able to attack at all that turn. You could put them to sleep. All Pokemon are guaranteed at least 1 turn of sleep, so they're doing absolutely nothing that turn. They can't attack, they can't protect. Some Pokemon are better than others at disrupting your opponent's game plan, and we'll get into that. Last but not a necessity, some support Pokemon might offer healing. These Pokemon might use moves like Pollen Puff or Floral Healing to add to the longevity of your sweeper. Now let's get into the best supporting Pokemon for Regulation H. Magmar is one of the most used support Pokemon for Regulation H. It not being a fully evolved Pokemon, it's able to carry the item Eviolite. Eviolite will boost its special defense and defense. It usually takes about 3, 4, sometimes 5 hits to take out a Magmar. With its ability Vital Spirit, it cannot be put to sleep. I would say it's got all the support moves you need. With Follow Me, it's offering that redirection and it's super tanky, absorbing a lot of damage. It learns the move Will-O-Wisp, so you are able to halve the damage of your opponent. It knows the move Taunt, so you're able to disrupt your opponent from clicking their own setup moves or trying to set Trick Room, for example. And it also can learn Clear Smog, which clears all stats from your opponent's Pokemon. Electabuzz is another support Pokemon that benefits from holding the item Eviolite. Again, it's a Pokemon that will take 3, 4, sometimes 5 hits to KO. Electabuzz also has the ability Vital Spirit, so it cannot be put to sleep. I think Electabuzz offers a little bit more versatility. It does have the move Follow Me, so it's offering that redirection to tank hits. It has access to the move Electro Web, which will decrease the speed of your opponents, offering that disruption. Taunt, so you can taunt opposing Amoonguses from using Spore or Rage Powder. And Electabuzz can learn Helping Hand, and he's gonna boost the damage output of its ally. Amoongus is the OG support Pokemon of the Scarlet and Violet era. With its ability Regenerator, when you swap it in and out of battle, it's going to be getting some healing. I would say most Amoongus in this format carry Citrus Berry, some do carry Rocky Helmet. Citrus Berry is good for longevity, and when you're clicking Rage Powder to redirect moves away from your opponent, if they're wearing a Rocky Helmet, your opponent's Pokemon are going to be taking chip damage with each contact move that they use onto Amoongus. Amoongus has access to Spore for serious disruption. Amoongus also has Pollen Puff, which is going to heal up its ally about 30% of its HP. And a fun fact, Pollen Puff does work on Goldango. I had to learn the hard way that Floral Healing doesn't work, but Pollen Puff works on Goldango. Amoongus has access to Clear Smog, again disrupting your opponent and resetting their stats. I would say Clear Smog is both disruptive and it helps with mitigating damage, For example, you can use Clear Smog on Dondozo to reset all of its stats that it would get when combined with Tatsugiri. I consider Incineroar to be a good support Pokemon. Incineroars are wearing safety goggles, so they are completely ignoring Rage Powders. Incineroar has the ability Intimidate, so upon entry into battle, he is lowering your opponent's attack stat by 1 stage. He gets access to Fake Out, which is good for disrupting your opponent, and it's helping your ally maybe set up that turn. Incineroar is good for mitigating damage with not just this ability Intimidate, but also with the move Parting Shot, which will lower the physical and special attack of your opponent. Knockoff is dealing double the damage if your opponent is holding an item, and you might be knocking off items like Choice Band, Black Glasses, Specs. Those are things that are boosting damage output from your opponent and you're getting rid of them. Mouse Hold can be used offensively, but it's also a good support Pokemon to have on your team. With its ability Friend Guard, it and its allies are taking less damage from attacks from your opponents. It learns Follow Me, so it's offering that redirection so that it's soaking up damage for its ally. Its base speed is 111, which is pretty fast in this format, so it is a fast taunting Pokemon, offering that disruption. It's got a cheeky move in Super Fang where it will halve your opponent's HP. And some people run Beat Up on their Mouse Hold. They will use this to either get a stamina boost on their Archaludon or to boost the Rage Fist from an Annihilate. This last one might sound like a wild pick, but hear me out. Choice Scarf, Annihilate. Just the mere presence of Scarf Ape offers so much disruption to your opponent's game plan. It threatens an immediate KO with the move Final Gambit. And with Choice Scarf boosting its speed, you can get a really fast coaching on your ally, boosting its attack and defense. If you open with Annihilate and you see that it's not the best lead into what your opponent brought, you can just U-turn and pivot him right out. He's able to reposition using U-turn and not worry about being faked out because he's a ghost type Pokemon. I also have a few honorable mentions. I consider Sneasler an honorable mention because of its speed stat. It's also able to get a quick coaching off on its ally. It also has Fake Out for disruption. Clefable gets access to Follow Me, and with its ability Unaware, it's able to ignore any defensive boosts that your opponent might have, so Dundozos or Archaludons. Indeedee is a staple support Pokemon on Trick Room teams. It's got redirection with Follow Me and sets up the Psychic Terrain, and that helps with blocking priority moves onto your grounded Pokemon. I hope that you all found this video to be very helpful. Be sure to leave me a comment below telling me who your favorite support Pokemon is for Regulation H. In my next video, I'm going to be going over the best sweepers for Regulation H, so make sure you're subscribed to come back for that. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one.